landscape of our planet is changing every day. Global warming is starting to take a toll on things like crops and vegetation.
Research rooted here in San Diego is being conducted to make plants that can adapt to this change. Our chief meteorologist, Carlene Chavis, talked to the scientists to find out more.
Plants are essential to our life as well as our planet's, and unfortunately we're dealing with negative impacts when it comes to vegetation and climate change. Now, research being done here at the Salk Institute is trying to develop more resilient plants through the study of light and temperature.
So it's something that the plant somehow needs to sense and decide to make a decision without a brain what to do to respond to the temperature, to respond to the shade, maybe respond to both of them together.
The research is studying shade avoidance. This is when plants are competing for light to grow, or they will be fully shaded by surrounding plants. This type of survival will be beneficial for growth in dense populations. Researchers are observing the elongation of stems in response to warm temperatures as well.
And when plants sense high temperature, they also start to elongate almost to the same level as they elongate in response to shade. And the idea was that it's in a way to get away from the ground and to let more air to flow under the leaves, and that's how they can chill themselves. Although it's not really clear if that's the reason, but that's what we think.
It's these responses that Yogev Borko, a Salk researcher and assistant professor at the Agriculture Research Organization in Israel, and other scientists, including Dr. Joanne Chori, director of Salk's Plant Molecular and Cellular Biology Lab, are monitoring. They've been studying Arabidopsis thaliana, along with tomato and tobacco plants. The observations start during the early stages of plant growth. After the sprouting of the seed, we're talking 3-day-old plants that are further examined under canopy shade and warm temperatures. Borko says you can start to see the effects of the shade response as early as 4 hours into observations. On a molecular level, observations can be seen as early as 10 minutes. Scientists note that the protein PIF7 and the growth hormone auxin are major factors in the accelerated growth of plants under these conditions. The purpose of this research is to be able to increase crop productivity in response to the rise in global temperatures in dense plant populations.
And then thinking about global warming, you can add on this shade response the temperature. So you want to know if we can, in a way, predict what's going to happen in those fields that the plants grow in high density.
Yogev is also working to mimic the Arabidopsis response in tomato plants with the potential to increase output in crop plants.
If it's a tomato, you still know that it's a tomato, it still have the same leaves, it still have the same fruit, but the shape of the plant could be totally different depending on the environment. And for me, that's fascinating.
He says the goal is to be able to manipulate plants to our benefit. But Yogev also expresses there is still much to learn when it comes to this study that isn't going to sprout up overnight. For CBS 8, I'm Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis.